Good day, loves. Welcome to this moment. Um, Welcome back to the Holistic Freedom Secrets Podcast.
What up?
I'm Coach Tensi.
I'm Coach Soul.
And we are Ufulu Child. Ufulu means freedom. And every day of the work week, we dive into one of the Freedom 5, which are 5 things that we can do on a daily basis to get us closer to our vision of holistic freedom. Boom! Yes.
The Freedom 5 consists of be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine. Today is Thursday, so it's Move Day. And uniquely, today we're actually going to touch on all of the Freedom 5, but in the context of move, the move context. So what move represents in the Freedom 5 is 2 things. Most of the concepts are like binary in a way, or poled, I guess I should say, where one aspect of move is physical exercise and another aspect of move is action taking, right? So we have physical exercise and then we have like discipline, action taking, doing the things that you need to do. Pretty simply. Right?
Yeah. Another way of saying it is because before, if you were with us when we first came up with the Freedom 5 and shared that through our 30-day challenge that we did for holistic health, then you remember that move was intentional movement and then also breathing, like the gratitude breath, right? So in a way, how I think about action taking is it's moving the energy beyond just being in your mind, and you're moving it into the things that you're doing in your daily life. So that comes out in the form of like you are moving in the direction of taking the next natural step, right? That is needed for you in order to be fulfilled, to be more so in love with your spirit and your life, and to really have the things that you say that you would like. Yeah. So today is pretty cool. We're going to talk about how our morning routines can supercharge our mornings, our early days or our risings, depending on how you want to flip and say it, and how it can really set us up for an empowered day. Because I don't know if you've heard this quote before. I don't remember who said it. If I did, I would say who said it. But it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And when we just let that settle in and marinate, it's so true because baby gas. That hurt me a little bit because it's so true. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Because when we are looking to change in our lives, it's important to really notice that, if we're doing one thing kind of with half of our hearts or half-assed, then
fart half-assed.
No. then we are likely doing other things in our life a similar way. I mean, we can look around, look at your environment, like look at your home. Are some things we got toys not yet put away? And sometimes it's like that, to where if we did how we started the morning is kind of like how we do the rest of the day. So it's important to reel it back so that we don't have 2 days in a row that it is in a disarray. We need to come back into order by getting our morning routine tight again.
Yeah.
So that feels good.
Just to add to that a little bit, the statement, how you do one thing is how you do everything, is a statement calling your attention to momentum. If you build momentum, in the realm of your mindset uh, of giving your all, then, you know, when you start building that momentum, the thing that you do that starts that momentum of giving your all will transition quite naturally into the next thing that you do during the day. And you'll at least give a lot of yourself to that next thing. And maybe in the beginning, it's just a lot of yourself. And then you remember that you're giving your all today. And then, you build it back up to 100, 120.
Mm.
Um, and so, how you do one thing, if you wake up and you meet the day, even if you start your day with a meditative, routine, getting into yourself before you get into the day type of mindset, which is completely fine. In fact, encouraged, or not. Or if you get up and you meet the day with getting into the day, which is my style, and a lot of other people's style. If that first thing that you do, you give your all to, then the next thing that you do, you'll probably give your all to. So it's a statement about momentum, and it's very, very, very important that we keep our spirits high as we meet our day. Now, I told you that the poles of the move concept are moving, actually intentionally moving your body, doing physical exercise, stretching, breathing, all of these things. And the other pole of this concept is taking action. And we're going to focus today on the second one, the taking action, and the, like Coach Tensi said, practical ways to just take the next natural step, as well as how to incorporate all 5 daily things that fit the Freedom 5 for you and your schedule and your personality and all of that. How to do the Freedom 5 in a very natural way every single day.
Yeah. So I'm keeping it in the back of my mind that you're likely, if you've been watching for a while and you follow me, you're likely a working mom, and your morning tends to most likely be a little hectic. Okay, whether you have one child or a few, or many, it's so important to fill your cup first, because if you are trying to give, and many of my clients are caregivers or parents, and they are natural givers at heart, and so sometimes to a fault, to a point of coming to depleting themselves, to not keeping in mind those healthy boundaries for their own self-care and their own health. So this is why I would recommend that you always start with your mindset. Always start with filling your cup with B first, and then move into everything, even if it's something that takes you 60 seconds to do. Like taking a moment just to consider and reflect on something that brings you into alignment with your own inner anchor. Um, and for me, oftentimes that's coming back to gratitude. It looks like many things on different days. And if you are waking up because, and the first thing you have your babies around you in the bed, or nearby, they come into the room, or the day starts, they wake up. Okay. um no matter how you wake up, starting off with a mindful moment is so key, because if you're trying to pour, like, just visualize really quickly a cup, and there's water in this cup. If you try to pour from this cup throughout the day, eventually you'll come to a point of being the cup is empty, right? And depending on how much you pour out in a given time frame in that day,
feel depleted.
You will feel depleted, especially when you come to the end of the day. You're gonna be like, ugh, like that was me yesterday, because I was not on point with my morning routine, and so forth. So while we may get a lot done, it's equally important to be able to sustain our routine. So instead of thinking of filling your cup so that you can pour from your cup, I instead want you to like cast that thought aside and think of it in another way altogether. Think of it as you're filling your cup to overflowing, and that overflow is what is filling the other people's cups, or that's what you're giving to others from the overflow. So your cup remains full, right? That is a big, it's powerful. Let me know if you caught it, because it's a profound little shift. And what that takes is connecting with a deeper source, connecting with a whatever you call your creator, that eternal energy that flows through all things. That power is what you tap into. So if you're like a healer, like if you've ever done like Reiki or received Reiki or any sort of energy healing, then you know that, especially if you are a practitioner, like we're certified Reiki practitioners, in addition to all the other things, that if you try to give of your energy, you will quickly be drained and feel all kind of every sort of way. So instead of trying to give from your own energy, you have to root it into the energy of the earth, the energy of the universe, the energy of God, however you want to phrase it. But that eternal source, tap into that and let that flow through you.
And there's a myriad of practices and techniques and methods to doing that, of course, some of which discussed on this podcast pretty heavily, right? First and foremost in line would be meditation. Um, Very often you'll find Coach Tensi in the morning listening to a meditation of the heart session or a meditation by Sandra Rose Michael, or some sort of recording guidance that roots back to the source of energy that will, provide the spiritual grounding throughout the day, as well as writing, right? Journaling, um, getting stuff out of your head and onto paper or onto a digital device, especially onto paper, because that involves more nuanced brain activity than tapping.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's mindfulness activities like slowly walking, meaning like being super aware as you move about, without doing a task that requires a whole lot of brain activity, or other mindfulness activities like coloring, for instance, where if you give 5-10 minutes, maybe even like she said, 1 minute to filling your own cup in this way, especially a spiritual cup, then you stand to be able to use the overflow of your full cup to fill other people's without the strain and overwhelm of feeling empty for helping, in helping others, even your own children and whatnot.
Yeah.
So next, how to incorporate cleanse into a morning routine. The super duper simplest,
yes,
is to hydrate when you first wake up. So you wake up, you use the restroom, and you hydrate.
Refill your water containers.
First, you exit the restroom and you close the door, but then you hydrate.
So check in with your body. Absolutely. Like when it comes to the morning routine, one of the biggest things I want you to anchor back to is checking in and asking yourself, like, what do you need right now? What would be in your thrive zone to do? So the thrive zone, if you remember from previous episodes, it's where you bring together these three worlds. One is the things that you love that just like light you up inside. And it's like, yeah. Pair that with the second world, which is everything that you know that you need. The things that you need to do. You know you need to drink your water. You know you need to do certain things. The third thing is what you're ready for. So just take a moment to check in. It's literally could be a couple of seconds or maybe even 15 seconds checking in to notice how you're feeling in your body, how you're feeling in your emotions, what thought patterns are going down, and just what do you need right now? What would you love? What is in your thrive zone to do right now? And give that to yourself. So, some other things that it could look like for cleanse is it's really about detoxifying your day. So, of course, starting off with drinking your water, herbal teas. Maybe you make yourself some tea. This will also help support just the overall detox. If you have any supplements that you could take those. Um, Squeezing a little lemon into your water, or a little pinch of Himalayan sea salt or Celtic salt, or getting
Well, you should
into,
be doing the Celtic salt and sea salt anyway.
yeah, to remineralize your water. Especially if it's not naturally alkaline, and it helps with absorption. We talked about it in a previous episode. And then also like getting into your daily hygiene things, like you could do tongue scraping, um, deep breathing to get that breath circulating, stuff like that. But
Your
simple,
yeah, your simple one step
one thing.
Skincare, face care routine
Oh yeah,
with
that's
the Ufulu Child whole body butter.
that's my go-to.
Okay,
That's what I did this morning.
so that's cleanse. Next we have fuel. Fuel, Fuel. Fueling is another concept with two poles. One of them is what you consume via your food and your supplements and your teas and what you consume. And the other is what you consume via the content that you watch, listen to, allow in your head, right? The programming that you allow to be introduced to your subconscious mind.
Mhm.
As far as the fuel, incorporating fuel into your morning routine, after the cleanse concept has been taken care of, starting opening your eating window with something that nourishes your body. So whether that is like a smoothie bowl, which is my favorite breakfast, if you will, or something light like a salad, or even if it's something more heavy, because the way that your day goes is once you kind of get to work or once you get into the day, you're doing things, you're lifting things, you're moving things, and you want to fill your break fast with proteins. Then you can have Tensi's pancakes. You know, I'm kidding, but something more hearty. Just make sure it's made with whole foods, made with a lot of one ingredient foods, right? Like you grab an orange, it's one ingredient. That's it.
Word. Got you.
There's no ingredient label on the watermelon. Um, and on things that do have ingredient labels, all of the ingredients on the ingredient label is one thing.
And we talked about this in previous episodes in depth. But
watch the previous episodes because we go into what to look out for. And then fueling your mind with something. So that meditation guidance for B, of course, fuel in that way can be combined with B. Reading some of your copy of Culture Control: Why the Love of Money is Objectively the Root of All Evil by Soul Expression.
yeah. So let's frame this into, okay, if it's the morning routine, the morning's already hectic. You already know you don't have much.
Although you don't have
much
to think
time.
about it like it's so hectic, but yeah.
Generally speaking, the status quo is it's a little hectic. Okay.
Right.
So one thing that you can do is, okay, what can you do in 5 to 15 minutes? Because if you can do each of these elements within 5 minutes or within 15 minutes, you are golden. Okay. This is doable. All right. Now, so when it comes to fuel, how I think of it is kind of like habit stacking. So I may play something that's inspiring me, whether it's an inspirational talk on my phone or something like that, even if it's in earbuds, say if everyone else is asleep still, just to kind of continue the the content fuel. Or maybe on if you commute to work, then on the way to work you can listen to a podcast or something that really like gets you remembering your passions in life, or like your greater calling, or why you are into growing your own food, or why you're into certain things that you're into. um but yeah, so with fuel, the easiest thing that I can possibly think of to do is making a smoothie. That's like the quickest thing. You can look in your fridge, and based off of the night before, like what do you already have? Or you can prep something real quick to eat later. Like you can prep some quick little oatmeal, depending on where you are in your cycle. You can, gauge the meal that you're going to eat off of that. But big thing to keep in mind, if you can have protein packed breakfast, and I'm not talking about protein powder, I'm talking about like, those the natural proteins that we find in our plant powered foods, like quinoa or chickpeas or black beans, or lentils, or if we're going more sweet, hemp seeds in the smoothie, chia seed puddings, or stuff like that. Pick one thing that you can make within 5 to 15 minutes and do that. Make that. So this is the time for like a quick little meal prep, whether it is that smoothie bowl or it's some fresh fruit that you just like, okay, slice this up real quick. Here we go. We got something in. We just got something in. Or if we're not ready to quite eat yet because you're doing a fasting vibe, cool. We got it prepped for later. So that's fuel. And
Yeah,
then
that's fuel. And just to reiterate as well, if you need more food than that, then you need to wake up early enough to make enough food for yourself, in case, like I said, you're lifting and you're doing a lot of things where you're expending a lot of energy throughout your day.
that's real, especially if you're in your like with cycle syncing, if you're in the first or second phases of your month monthly cycle, the 30-day-ish cycle,
Uh-huh.
then yeah, absolutely. If you're lifting heavier weights, or you're doing this high intensity cardio, or whatever it
You're
is.
stocking at the store and the boxes are heavy. I mean, just whatever it is, if you're doing stuff and you need energy from the food in the morning, then um, you might, then for fuel, that might be more than 5 minutes. It just is what it is.
Yeah. Or, lifting a bag of fertilizer for your garden.
Yep.
Lifting a baby.
Gardening in general, yeah.
Playing with babies, throwing up in the air. Let's go.
So next we have move, which again, taking intentional movement seriously and breathing hard for a few minutes throughout the day, or taking action. As far as your morning routine, if it's feasible, incorporate some intentional movement, before the kids like are out the door with the kids. If it's not feasible, then either on your way to work, let's say if you have an opportunity to commute via foot to bus stop or to something like that. We know a couple people that walk
Like
across a
walking
bridge.
or walking to the bus stop.
Yeah, walking. Yeah. Or just doing some intentional movement before you head out the door to go to work. But setting aside 5 minutes or so to sweat and breathe hard into the day is great. Also, ancient yogic practices are really, really good. So stretching and breathing into the stretching with intention and spirituality connected to your practice. Very, very good ways to incorporate move into your morning routine. And again, 5 minutes or so is all you really need. 10 to 15 minutes is optimal.
Yeah. So, I don't, when it comes to movement, that's one of the big struggles. Okay. So, between fuel and move, I really want to encourage, even if you just step outside to, have your breakfast or to drink some water, get those first little rays of sun that will help you sleep better. And that'll help when you're awake, okay? That helps reset your circadian rhythms. So habit stacking in that way that you take it to your balcony, or you take it to your porch, or you take it to your backyard, or anywhere. You just take it outside for a moment and just give yourself those like a few minutes of just soaking in outside. Okay. So if it's raining, then get your umbrella or chill for that day. But as often as you can, to get outside, especially in the mornings and during the day or in the evenings when you get home, to kind of help with rest. That will be helpful. That was a side note. For movement, one of the big things that I was just reminded of yesterday, and it's backed by science. I was watching a podcast episode with Dr. Mindy Pels, who's she's a functional medicine doctor, who's all into holistic health, because that's functional medicine. It's like, let's get to the root. Okay, we're not just treating the symptoms and then pretending that the root cause is solved when it's
Right.
not. So she was talking about the power of walking, and you mentioned like you could go for a quick walk or something like that, but specifically it brings down the stress hormone.
Yep.
So whenever we are moving both sides of the body in a forward movement, it could be walking, it could be dancing forward, it could be
Skipping, hopping.
or just for babies crawling. But really, when we are activating again and again, left, right in a forward movement, that is so powerful to help break down the stress hormone in our body that might have built up from every little thing, whether it's a work stressor or you feel overwhelmed or overstimulated or whatever. If you can get out to do a quick little 5-minute, quick little minute, couple minutes walk just to clear your head, it literally helps to clear your head. Like people say, going for a walk to clear my head. And that's literally what's going on. It's been proven in several scientific studies.
Yep.
So if nothing else, if you're at work and you haven't gotten an opportunity to quite fit it in the early day, then at least in the morning time, at least if you don't do anything else, gift yourself with some intentional movement. Get those crunchies out your spine and realign a little bit with some stretching and breathing.
And last but not least, we come to shine. Share honest, insightful, nourishing expressions. Very, very important to set an intention for how you want to show up for your family or your community or a member of your friend group, or multiple members of your friend group. And set that intention in the morning. Do that thing sometime throughout the day. Of course, taking a little time to just go ahead and knock it out in the morning also is great, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself with, okay, let me do a checklist type of thing. So just thinking and setting an intention for how you want to show up for your community and your loved ones in the morning is super duper helpful. Even if you don't necessarily get to it that day, but that morning, but you get to it later that day, that is sufficient. As it's important to reach out and touch people's lives, and also it's important to manifest an environment and manifest a set of habits that actually do support you and are not working against you, if you so to speak.
So if you are that like extra driven, like, you know what, I can do this, I'm gonna figure it out, type of mama, like I know most likely you are, then we're thinking through, okay, like how do we make this work? How do we make this work? So one way that you can make this work in a morning routine would be, say you just did your workout or you just made your little thing that you prep for yourself. You can snap a picture of that and you can post it in a group of trusted people, whether it's a group text, and just be like, hey, I was thinking of you. I prepped this. Hopefully it's inspiration. Sending so much love. Quick text or a quick post. And that's one easy way to not only help to keep our loved ones that are on the journey with us motivated, inspired, and like remembering that, hey, I'm thinking of you. But it could also be a way to keep yourself on track, because when other people know what we're doing, it makes it easier
To be
to
accountable.
be accountable and to keep doing it. So that's one way. Or another quick way that I love when typing becomes too much is to press the little voice memo record button in a little message and just record like, hey,
Yep.
wishing you had a good day today, or wishing you have a good day today, because it's the morning time. I was thinking of you, just, one thing that you appreciate about them. No strings attached, not expecting anything back from that person, because it's real authentic shine. And shining is, if you remember with me, sharing honest, insightful, and nourishing expressions. So, like, let me know if that makes sense, to where it doesn't even have to take more than 2 minutes to shine. But we can do this, and it could be a part. We can do the habit stack. So then it's part of the your morning routine. It's part of the fueling. It's part of, hey, I journaled this and I thought of you. I hope this inspires you. Whatever it is. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully this episode was inspiring and great for you. Hopefully you have a great morning or afternoon or
Yes.
evening, whatever time you're listening to this in the future. Click the like button. Pardon me.
Click the like button.
Yeah,
Button.
all of that.
Yes.
Share this out to people that need it. Comment below what your morning routine is looking like, or what we've inspired into your morning routine with this episode and other past episodes. And we will see you all tomorrow for Shine Day. Also, subscribe, follow, and like the page as well.
Yes.
All right.
Sending so much love always and always. Peace.